Greetings everybody, greetings. This is Solo Cozy here. So today we're going to be looking at how to trade the SnR breakout, how to safely trade the SnR breakouts. So on this topic, many people have got a different idea on when it comes to trading the breakouts. Most of the people they usually use it's either the buy stops or the sell stops. So by doing so, there are so many risks that you can put yourself on when you're trading that way. I'm not saying they're doing it wrong, but according to my trading style, I wouldn't recommend anyone who is under my mentorship to execute trades like that using the instant buy stops or the sell stops on the breakout levels. So let us get some examples here. So we're just gonna have an example of the resistance here. Resistance. Then we have something like this. Breakouts. So this is the broken resistance. So I'll just put the R's here. Another R here for resistance. And then I've got this here, this base created around the breakout level. So this becomes your zone, but I'm still gonna explain it. Okay, and then we also have this type of a breakout. We've got the resistance levels again here. So this is the broken resistance also. Another resistance. So in this instance, this was the breakout point of these resistance levels. And here we've got this flag created. So let me just explain a bit why am I saying it's risky to just have let me make a rough example here. It's very risky for you to just have something like this. Let's say you have picked up the resistance levels that have been getting created, and as we know that the more the price visits the level, it's the weaker that level gets. So seeing the price revisiting the very same level several times, it doesn't make that level strong, but it makes it weak. Let's say maybe you've got something like this, and you got your resistance levels here. Okay, when you're having something like this, you don't want to have your buy stops here. You don't want to have your buy stops here placed here. You don't want to have those. Why? Reason number one, whenever the market gives you those equal highs or equal lows, most likely above there's what? Most likely above there's high liquidity. Okay, so usually the markets just break out of those equal highs or equal lows, and then grab that liquidity and then come back down. Okay, so when you're having your buy stops like this here, you've got your buy stops here. So that means if the market pushes from here, it activates your buy stops, right? It activates your buy stops. Already you're on buys, and then all of a sudden price comes back. It comes back like this. So you were on profit a bit, and then all of a sudden maybe your stops got hit or whatsoever. And another thing about these buy stops trading, you do not get to like place your stop losses properly. So it's a matter of you having those buy stops there, and then they get triggered, and then it's well by you setting your stop losses and all. So I do not think that is the healthiest way to trade, because now you always need to apply risk management, a sound risk management. So you don't want to have trades getting you panicking and stuff. Okay, so this is the main reason why I'm a bit against these buy stops tradings, because most of the time when you got equal highs or equal lows like this, markets will eventually push up, collect that liquidity, and then grab it back down. So they get you in profits. If you do not trail your stop, they come back and then they hit your stop. Okay, so that is the main reason why I'm a bit against this breakout trading. Okay, so let's get back here on our examples. So on our first example here, we've got these resistance prices, these resistance levels, and then we're seeing the market pushing up, breaking out of those resistance levels, right? And then the market comes back down, it ranges, and then it pushes even further. Okay, so you've already confirmed that the market is broken out here after it created this range, and then it went back up again, because after breaking out of these resistance levels, they've already collected the liquidity, and then they gave us a sign that they are not willing to push even lower. So they gave us this range here, and then they pushed back even further up. Okay, so what do you do now? What you do is that you will highlight this range that occurred around the broken resistance levels. So that range will be your zone. Okay, and when the market comes back for the first time now, when it comes back for the first time, this is what you do. When the market comes back to the very same range, first time back to the range, say it gets in here, most of the time price will eventually do what? It will shoot even further up. So this is the safest way of trading the breakouts, because here we already know that we've got our stops here. Okay, so after everything has been completed, so we saw these resistance levels being rated out, and then market came back, it ranged, and then it pushed further up. So on this range we highlight our zone. This is our zone. We place our buy limits on the very same level of the resistance. You place your buy limits, you highlight your zone, and then you have your stops below the zone, 10 to 30 pips below the zone. So the rest will be up to the market. When it comes back here, it will trigger a buy limit, pushes even further up, or else if it hits your stop, it hits your stop. So there's nothing you can do there. However, this will help you to build like a very proper trading technique with a proper risk management, because you don't want to find yourself having orders being activated, and now you have to modify those orders, putting your stop losses and all. You don't want to find yourself in that situation where you get to panic, because once you panic, most mistakes will occur. So on the breakout we have this example. So this is example number 1. So this is example number 1. Example number 1. And then another type of a breakout, it is whereby you will have your equal highs or equal lows. So in this instance we used the resistance, and then if you notice here, the market just broke straight up. It broke straight up with a high momentum. So it did not leave any flag here. It did not maybe come back and range. If you notice this breakout on example number 1, it was just a minor breakout. It was a breakout of those resistance levels, and then market came back and gave us the range. On this side here, on example number 2, so this is example number 2. On example number 2, what we have here, we have a straight breakout with high momentum. As you can see, it's not as minor as the example number 1 one. So here it's just a high momentum move that broke those resistance levels. Okay, and then when the market comes back, usually, so this is the first time back of the market, when you're having the market break, so usually on the live markets, it's whereby you have a solid candle breaking those resistance or support levels depending on what you have on the charts. But most of the time on this kind of a breakout, it's where you find a high momentum candlestick that maybe closes here. So there are no two candles that broke this resistance, just a single candle that pushed up. So those kinds of moves, you find them when there are certain events and so forth. So here we've got this example of a high momentum breakout, and then when the market comes back on the very same line of the resistance level, the same line, that's the same level, I mean, when the market comes back, that is where you usually put your buy limits. And most of the time on these solid candles, let us assume this is the 4-hour time frame and we've got a solid candle. So if you switch to the lowest time frames, it will happen that you find a base here around the resistance levels most of the time. So as I've said, let's assume this is the 4-hour time frame and we have a solid candle here. So if you go to like 15 minutes or 5 minutes, you'd find that there's a base rally that occurred here before the breakout most of the time. So you need to check that. So once you discover that base, you need to mark that base and come back to the original time frame, because now what you wanted to do in the lower time frames, you wanted to have your zone, because having a zone, it will determine where you will place your stop loss. So after you have discovered that base, you need to highlight that base. Let's maybe say on the lowest time frame we found a base that is this wide, just a tiny base. Let us assume we found something like this on the lower time frames. So now this is the 4 hour that you are back on, so it will be something looking like this. This is our zone. Let me wipe this off. Okay, something like this. So when you've got something like this, now you know that 10 to 30 pips is your stop loss. 10 to 30 pips is your stop loss. So this is your SL. This is also your SL. Excuse me. This is also your SL. 10 to 30 pips below or above the zone. Okay, so example number 1 is whereby we got just a minor breakouts, and then price ranges, it ranges around those resistance levels, and then it pushes further up. So most of the time when it comes back for the first time to that range, it will buy. Okay, so you'll be getting your buying opportunities on the first time back. And then on the example number 2, it is whereby we have that high momentum breakout. So we said usually we have a solid candle that breaks these resistance or support levels, and then when the market comes back for the first time on the very same line of the resistance levels, that is where you'll be having your buy limits. And then in order for you to correctly place your stop loss, you need to switch to the lowest time frames and try to find a base that occurred before the breakout here. Once you discover that base, you highlight that base so that you can have your zone, and then you get back to the original time frame, then you can safely place your stop loss. Okay, so now let us just check out the live charts. Let's check on gold. Okay, we've got something here. Alright, here. So in this instance here, we've got this resistance level, I mean this support level. So it's the support level here. This support level. Okay, so one would ask, where is it do we mark our support or resistance levels? Do we use the wick or do we use the bodies? Of which that will be a very, very good question. Okay, so the answer would be you actually need to use the bodies. Okay, so in order for you to accurately highlight or drop your horizontal line precisely when marking your SNR levels, this is what you need to do. You need to first switch to the line chart. Okay, after you have switched to the line chart, we have this here. You see on the turning point, this is our support levels. So these are the true support levels. These are the true support levels, not the wicks. If you want the proper SNRs, this is how you mark them. Okay, so what do we pick up around these support levels? So we can say this is our support level. So what I have picked up already here is this. This is what I've already picked up. This is what I've picked up. Around our support levels, we have this. Did you see what the market did there? Do you see what the market did here? So before the market broke out of these support levels, it gave us this minor range, and before it broke out, okay, it gave us this minor range, and then it broke out of these support levels. So what did we say? We said we need to highlight that range to be our zone. So let us assume we have something like this. We haven't seen what happened in the future, so we just discovered our support levels here, and then we also discovered this minor range. Okay, so what you have to do now, you place your sell limits here. So be your sell limits here, sell limit, and then 10 to 30 pips stop loss. Okay, so it will be something like this. So it's your sell limit here. And then your stop loss here. 10 to 30 pips. Just above your zone. Okay. And then now, for you to mark properly, after you have switched to your line charts, and then you discovered the true resistance or support and all those things, and then you marked them correctly, you can go back to your candlesticks chart. So this is what we have. So this is the entire base. This is the entire range that occurred before that support level broke out. Before the market broke out of what? Of this support level. So now we are going to go deeper now on the basis. So if you are part of our mentorship group, we've got a video which talks about the engulfing patterns and their types. So since we have switched to this candlesticks chart, already now we can see around this range. So now what you do, using that extra information, you now look for what? You look for any bearish engulfing pattern that you might find, around that range, around this range that broke that significant support level. Okay, so in this range already I have discovered that we have got what? We've got the bearish engulfing type 2. So it's this pattern here, the type 2. It's this pattern here, these two candlesticks. It's these two candlesticks. The dodgy like candle, these two candlesticks. So when you having this type of a bearish engulfing around your maybe your range, so this is how you enter, using these, like these two candlesticks, this bearish engulfing pattern. You'd have to place your sell limit on the high of this dodgy like candle. On its high, that's where you will place your sell limit. Okay, and then if you are a person who likes risking very low, this would be your zone, using what? Using the wick of that bigger candle, of this candle, this candlestick. So after you have placed your sell limit here on the shorter wick of this dodgy candle, your zone will be this entire week. So from where you placed your sell limit going up, that will be your entire zone. So if you're using this zone, then this is where you'd probably have your stop loss. So now as you can see that the risk is getting lower. Okay, so now let us see how did the market react when it reached our sell limit levels, because here it was not triggered here, and even here it wasn't triggered. So let us see what happened in future. Okay, we can see the market tapping in here. So that is sell limit activated. Boom, price falls. Just like that. So here we were not having any sell stops. We were not having any silly pending orders that were placed, but we just waited for the market to show us where is it going now. So it's only a matter of waiting, especially if you're trading the breakouts. You don't want to just rush on the first breakout and then you rush to enter, but the market will speak for itself that okay, this is how we're moving now. So you need to have the ability of mapping out all these things. As you can see, this was just a simple trade. This is M15. So these are beautiful pips. So we discovered our broken support, and then we marked our range, and then around the range we checked for any bearish engulfing pattern that we might find. We discovered that we have type 2, these two candles. We placed our sell limits. Boom, the market came back for the first time. Boom, it activated our sell limits, and then that's it. So even when you're buying, it's one and the same thing. You don't want to have, imagine if you had your sell limits here, your sell stops, I mean, just below here. You got activated and then price came back, it took you out just like that. So you need to focus on what happened before the breakout. That is the catch. You need to focus on what happened before the breakout occurred. What is it that the market what is it that the market did there on that range? What happened there before the breakout? You need to inspect that range. You need to do a top-down analysis. Take out those bearish engulfing types, map them right, place your sell limits or your buy limits, have your stops ready. Boom, the market will come back to you, and then just easy profits, because take profit number one would be here. Take profit number one, it was going to be hit here, and then if maybe you are holding, maybe this is where you are going to exit, or according to your own analysis, because you also analyze how you're going to exit. Okay, so this is how you safely trade the breakout. You don't trade immediately on the breakout, but you wait for the breakout to occur and then inspect on what happened before the breakout. Inspect that range. If you had a solid candle here, just one candle, one solid candle, go to the lowest time frames and see if you will not find any range, and then you refine that range. Take out your bearish engulfing types, whatever that you find there, you map it right, place your sell limits, and then your stop losses. Then the rest will be history when the market comes back to you. So the market came back very, very nicely here. It was compressing, so this was compression. This is compression, one of the price approach. One of the price approaches that we have. So this was just a sweet trade. It was a very sweet trade. Okay, so I hope you find this video very, very educational and very, very useful. So you can follow us for more content on Instagram. It's Solo Cozy Inst. On Facebook it's Solo Cozy FX. You can follow us there, and then you can get to know more about our services that we offer. Thank you very much, guys. I wish you a very good weekend. Yo, slow. What is the parliament? What happened then? What happened? Bisho jokuya le rathi sukokho ngiyabona ungena la kaDoni ngidawufile lo hey nito zothi ngicimba kanje hayi ebasiya ukushawa umoya ukushawa umoya nje sithethe naseyiveni uze right hayi inkinga seni sitha ngiyada sona uba wena ozalwayo nje ewonjani njalo angimazi ukuthi angibazi bafeleni Omdeni yathi siyahlala phezulu efana nalemoto uyale ukhaya umbizi Ese tu uhleli la nje Angisakho No tsofezi ihlala ngedwa la ngedwa futhi Ngiyakwazi ukuzela la izinto Disparele izindlela Angisakwazi uyaqasha ndoda ayikho kodwa osahlanganisa ngayo ngakho ngiyoma ngijabule bese Abona nalesi yangudona Wenzani like kwenziwani uyayitafu kuzilaba uyayitafu Lekusibeleza bese ngabe ngiyidela ngasathi Nayi yaphu ngiyakuvamile ukuthi ubeleze emalini yeah Sathi nje kwathi uzukela engaselo ngilala ngabo 12 engaselo futhi ngiyazi nje engane lesilima futhi mfana sangu kusala nje stafini Ufike chef engangene nomuntu sana futhi Wangaba namjitha iking Nakho sengiyamasonto kusesami kwafaka Nomjitha lapha kuhamsetheni iplasi namsetheni ukudla ngiwashaya Bengihlala namjitha lapho amakudla ngafaka bengihlala nasawafaka Abethawa amasolithi nazo ngafaka Siyekile futhi lemonto yakho ngibambela ngibambela izinsuku zami ezolithini Avela bona ukuthi awukhosele yanzi awusho awukhosele into yona Mamkaze ngikabisa umuntu angimtshela msawo ngimtshela ile mali ikhona bese imali bekile kwathi ngizothi ukudla Yakhawa xa ngitheni izola nje ukudla phambi kwakhe ngimtshela nje ukudla yakhamuka Awumela kupithu Hayi kuthi uyaduzunga nawe Usuthandile Uyadaya ukuthi ngibona ukuthi kuthatha off La phela lo somhleli lapha ekhaya ngihlawula ngivuze kamanzi kwigcobanga Ngisho ukuthi hayi sitambile ingafuna abose waseqeqe ama off Hawo security baba 14 Bafaka ngene abanye baba La abantu labana bethu hawuza la bantu banama offer umuntu ngamunye Yo, baya ngeni 3 days, usho ke dawa uzothi kuya ngena abanye.
yabo khona uzobasikhalisana yabona nje uphuma ufour endlini ekuseni
Amawulanda masepilini thaso uqaqela plus kabane yona.
ukabona nje u15 uphuma ufour uhamba namanye namanye
Ha,
yabo nje manje
awuhambe isusu kuyothatha abanye.
yabo nje manje
Khona bangena ikuseni khona bangena intambama.
Telefone ukabati la ashira kwa nje kumsiza kundabuye nabanye ekuseni yabona nje ngiyathatha ekuseni uphuma u4 uhambe ngaba kube nabanye abaphuma u6 balindi kube nabo phinde ngo7 ngo7 ngisenza kubo noma wakhe umhlanga ayo konke kodwa kubulala bemhlanga ngalo nto ngibulala umhlanga kubulala bemhlanga ngopetrol nje haya lapho
Manje upetrol wenza njani? Wenza mad. Ngabona imoto yaba.
lapho yagula namhlanje
Uyizamela njani petrol? Ushama kwini?
shama phela kuyo uzosebenza ngosebenza lapho kusemhlanga
Yakhe shop.
uyafuna imali 1.5
Phezulu kwale staff.
phezulu 20 plus awutholayo lo awutholayo 20 plus ngenyanga wale
1000.
eh
Ayadaka.
hawo ebona manje yabona kukhona manje zo3 lo mali lectures
20k.
20 plus
Hey, the staff. The staff me look cheap.
staff of them students
The staff me
the staff
20,000.
ay what the hell kun o já fui nento futhi depois o 3 depois uzimanje khaba beside uzobuya nabanye khona bazobambisa u8 azobuya nabo ngo22 kokho kafanele airports with the
Seqondile seqondile.
leyo awona nje manje awusuka uzofuna cash out lo nje faka umfalo petrol bethu ahole lo muntu loyo
Concern.
yasebenza lapha lo muntu bethu akasebenzi
Concern.
hawu bethu into oziyilahle
Time. Ngazi umoya yena lo msebenzi. Usukuqondena.
yabo nje ngothatha staff mina nje ngiyimoto yami hawu ngicela ngikhokhela ngiqede lo muntu bethu ngayifuna unyaka emncane tsalo ngokho ngathi nga20
Chetha yini?
yena lokho kodwa ifoni manje ngokho 20,000
Yeah.
size ngiqede nje mhlawumbe ngo2 years ngabo 5 years
Noma ujetha u10 nje ukhokha ngawo.
yeah
10k. Yeah. Chetha phezu ka 10,000. Khokha 10,000. Ibona ukuthi inkakha le. Ayikho kenye imoto abange bakunike yona uvalo wakho.
Ben
Siyakhokha le ndoda le. Hey. Akuhlonipha la.
manje sale usitha
Yeah. Ngisasebenza kancane nje. Ngisaspana. Ngibeza ukuthi into yabithini into yakusasa. Bafuna siyobhunga leyo. Ukuthi ngazi ukuthi webhuti kule ndawo. Sayiklen uthi futhi. Wamakhelwane usebenzela usuke ukuthina hawu
zabe nemoto uthatha ngesuku olulodwa nemuntu 2 days
ayona amaphansi esingaya yebo